Hello and welcome to Wednesday's Weekly, your weekly bite-sized briefing webinar, a collaboration between Action Together, the voluntary community and the faith sector and the public sector. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this episode of our Cost of Living Crisis Series. Action Together are working with Oldham Council to welcome you every Wednesday between now and April to hear from the services and organisations that are working alongside you in Oldham, delivering critical help to support our Oldham residents. Before we start, just a little bit of housekeeping. So please keep your microphones on mute whilst our guest presenters are speaking. Please say hi and introduce yourself into the chat. And following the guest speakers, we'll have an opportunity for questions. If any do spring to mind during the input from our speakers, please pop them in the chat and I'll bring you in when the presentation is concluded. And the final bit of housekeeping, we are recording today's webinar. It will be edited down and then available on YouTube and on Oldham Council's e-learning platform. If you would prefer not to be recorded, please keep your camera off. So without further ado, I'm really pleased to hand you over to Vicki. Over to you, Vicki.
Hi, thank you. I'm Vicki Varley from Oldham Libraries. So I'm just going to talk a bit about the library and heritage libraries and arts response to the cost of living crisis. So for those that don't know, we have 12 libraries across the borough. There's a lovely picture of one of our libraries here. That's Oldham Central Library. But we do have a mixture of full and part-time libraries in all the district centres, ranging from the big central library to our small but well-loved porter cabins in Greenfield and Northmoor. A really great range of buildings offering a great range of services. Next slide, please. So first of all, I think our digital offer is really key in supporting residents at the moment. So all of our libraries offer free Wi-Fi, which frankly used to be rubbish, but is now good. So it's reliable. People can come in and rely on it for things like online meetings and just general use. And all of our libraries are data bank partners. So if you have a resident who is unable to afford a data package, please do refer them to any of our libraries and we'll be able to provide them with 6 months of data. If after those 6 months are up, they're still struggling, we could give them one more 6-month package. So yeah, please feel free to refer to any library in Oldham. The other side is our access to devices. So you can borrow a Chromebook from any library in Oldham that comes with data, with a data package. You borrow that just like you would a book. So if you've got a library card, you can pop into the library, borrow the Chromebook for 3 weeks, just like you would a book. If at the end of that time you need it for a little bit longer, you can renew it just like you would a book. They are popular though. So yeah. We're hoping to extend the number of Chromebooks that we have in circulation. We've got about 100 at the moment. So yeah, please feel free to refer people to that if they're struggling for a device. We have self-service PCs in all of our libraries. You can see some here in one of our smaller libraries, Northmoor, being used by residents. We have tablets that are available for people to use in the library. Just ask at the library desk and you can borrow one while you're sat in the library using it. And we have had various funded projects over the last few years where we've been able to give out devices as well. Now, at the moment, we don't have one of those, but we're always looking out for new opportunities. Next slide. So along with connectivity and devices, we recognise that skills is also a barrier to people's digital inclusion. All of our libraries are online centres network partners. So we offer Learn My Way at all of our libraries. So that's a short, basic introduction to using IT and computers, at least one session per week across all of our libraries. We also have digital drop-ins at Oldham. That's Monday to Wednesday mornings. But we're lucky enough also to have a funded post within the library service. Our digital support assistant, Liam, does travel around the borough to support people with their more in-depth digital inquiries. Next slide. And at Fitton Hill, we have a health and digital literacy pilot happening at the moment. So this was in response to a presentation that I saw that looked at the difference between health outcomes for people who are able to follow a digital pathway and those that are relying on face-to-face appointments only. And it was quite startling. So what we thought we'd try and do is bring together the device, the connectivity, space to do medical appointments, and there's having somebody around to help people to do an online appointment if they've not used on digital before. So at Fitton Hill, you can use a small dedicated room that we have dedicated for people who want to do an online appointment but don't have space in their home to do it, maybe because they've got a lot of people living with them, or perhaps their carer who is always with somebody and they just need the privacy and a private space to do a health appointment. And it's nice in there because there's a coffee machine and lots of health information, comfy sofas and so on. You can also borrow a Chromebook. Obviously, as I mentioned before, you can get data if it's just data that you're lacking. And then the staff have been trained to support people to do what they need to do their online appointments. So if you've got anybody that you think would benefit from that, feel free to refer, as I've said before. Next slide. Okay, so all of our service is recognised as Library of Sanctuary, which means that we offer an enhanced service for newly arrived residents, so asylum seekers, any migrants that are new to the area. We offer an enhanced service for people, and that includes a programme at Northmoor Library in Coldust, which includes conversation and craft, digital support, and we've been doing lots of climate-related project work, which has gone really well there. We have a Libraries of Sanctuary hub at Failsworth Library on a Thursday afternoon, where we have an English conversation group. We give out data packages and general support to people who are newly arrived. Lots of signposting happening there. We have English conversation groups in all of our libraries. So there's at least one English conversation group happening at a library every single day, which I think is good, and it seems to be plugging a gap for people who are struggling to access ESOL courses through other providers. And so yeah. Warm Spaces, this has been extended to the end of April, which is fantastic, but with or without the free tea and coffee, libraries are just places for people to be. You know, you can come to the library and spend some time if you need to get out of the house for any reason, whether it's related to not being able to heat the home, or if it's just, you know, you're a small business who wants to meet clients somewhere that's not their bedroom. So you can sit and read. We have study spaces in all of our libraries. We have a dedicated co-working space here at Oldham, upstairs on the first floor, where you can you know, meet clients. You can book a table if you want to, or you can just rock up. The library is yours to use. We have lots of business information and events. We currently have the Build a Business programme running, which is for people who've got a business idea but are struggling to get started. So there's loads of events and activities around that, and we can obviously signpost to financial support as well. But they can get 12 hours of free business support through the Build a Business programme in libraries. There's family events, loads of health and wellbeing sessions. It's rare that you're in Oldham Library and you don't see a provider with a stall in the foyer. We do health checks, information stalls, and of course we have our own health and wellbeing activities programme. And there's the gallery as well. So if you're looking for somewhere free to go with family, the gallery is there and it's a fantastic resource. So we think of libraries as one of the last spaces where, you know, we want you to come in, but we don't actually want anything from you. You can borrow books, you can borrow board games. We have audio books, which are incredibly expensive to buy, but free to borrow from the library. We also have our e-books, e-magazines and e-newspapers through our BorrowBox platform. So, stop paying for Audible and start using BorrowBox. It's free to use with your library card. We have free study and homework resources from providers like Oxford University Press. That's available through our website. And we have loads of business databases, including Cobra, which is the Complete Business Reference Advisor, and Grant Finder. We have millions of pounds worth of business databases as part of our partnership with the Manchester Business and Intellectual Property Centre. So if that's of interest, please let me know. Next slide. Oh, is that it? Yeah, I'm done.
That's it, yeah.
Gosh, that was quick.
It was, wasn't it? Let me just
Sorry.
share in there. Fabulous. Thank you, Vicky. Does anybody have any questions to Vicky around any of the slides? Any questions on the back of?
I am here again.
Morning, Jean.
Hi. No questions, but I'm always blown away with what you do at the library. There's just so much going on when I come down, like as a professional, having a stand there for family info. The people that go through, your footfall is massive, isn't it? Yeah, it is a real good place to be. And like you said, it's got a nice vibe to it as well. I really like going in because it just feels really welcoming.
Oh, thank you, Jean.
It does.
I've got a question for you, Vicky.
Okay.
So you mentioned about referring people in to have access to the Chromebooks.
Yeah.
So how do people refer? How do people request that? Is it via a link or?
No, I mean, there is information about it on our web pages, but it's when I say refer, I mean just send them into the library.
Right.
And that's all they need. If they don't have a library card, it's free to join. They don't need to bring any identification with them or anything like that. They can just rock up, get the library card, borrow a Chromebook, and they're good to go.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.